I've spoken to over 500 ecom brand owners over the last 12 months, and they may have been from different niches and had different average order values and different number of products. They had one thing in common, and it was an issue that was eating into how much revenue and, more importantly, profit that they were all making. And the brand owners that I ended up working with and helped with this problem started making more money instantly, objectively, 100% backed by a money back guarantee, because it was such an easy opportunity to fix. It was easy to make that offer to them. And the reality is that these days, a lot of brands aren't losing money because their ads don't work. Whilst that is a problem for a lot of them are losing money because what happens after they send people through to their website is weak. It's not set up correctly, right? And it's not that the systems themselves are missing. It's just that they're underdeveloped, right? The same pattern shows up again and again across all these different variations of brands that I've looked at, that the systems are, not in a strong place. And it is a hidden profit leak for most people, and it may be one for your brand. So if you do own an e-commerce brand and you have a decent amount of revenue coming in, you're like 10, 20K minimum per month, you've got average or better conversion rates, or maybe slightly below average, but it's not obvious that conversion rate is your number one problem right now, and you're running ads or driving traffic with organic, but you're still struggling with profitability, let me help you in a way that's got nothing to do with creatives, platforms, or traffic volume. The issue is, right, a lot of founders, when they try and scale, and I've heard this so many times, hundreds of times, is they start spending more money on ads to try and increase their revenue, and it does go up a little bit, but their margins shrink. The ads are feeling quite risky, if they were already on the edge of profitability of that first purchase profitability, and they increase the spend and it lowers the return from the ads, and now they're not profitable on the front end anymore. They actually, a lot of the time, feel more comfortable just being back to their original spend, even though the revenue is lower, because they at least are making a little bit more profit. And then they think to themselves, these ads suck, or maybe the agency that's running the ads suck, or the creatives suck, or whatever. And, paid traffic is just not working for us very well. But in most cases, the conclusion's wrong, because the brand isn't extracting enough value from the traffic that it is already sending to the website. And when that is the case, scaling's always going to feel stressful. It's always going to feel like a problem. So let's talk about the first lever, the thing that we need to fix here, and it is email flows. Always look at flows. If the flows aren't contributing a significant amount of the revenue, the monthly revenue for the brand, 10, 15% even, then I'm thinking that's a problem, and that's an area for opportunity. So if you look at your own brand and think, are my flows, contributing, 10, 15% of my monthly revenue or not? If they're not, then you could probably be making more money from them every single month. And one of the benefits of them is that, or one of the many benefits, is they're cheaper than having a full website redesign, something that you might do to get more out of the traffic that you're sending through to the page. They're less disruptive than ongoing CRO testing. There's no risk to the ads, no messing around with the creatives or anything like that. And it's not because they're sexy or new or anything like that. It's just because they're one of the highest leverage, lowest risk ways to improve your front end economics. And one of the kind of many things that I like about flows is that they have a few unfair advantages. One of them is that it's a one-time setup. You spend money once to get them set up correctly by the right team, and then they work, right? The ROI is guaranteed as long as they're done correctly. It's not, will this be a profitable move for my brand? It's, how long will it take to be profitable? They're traffic independent. They don't depend on increasing traffic to work, right? Obviously, you need traffic for them to do stuff, but if you've got 1,000 or 10,000 visitors to your website every single month now, you don't need to send more people to the website to start making more money if you improve your flows. It's that simple. They have an immediate and compounding return. Immediately, they make you more money because they just help you convert more people right straight out the gate that you're currently doing. But also, they build your email list, and that is going to have a compounding impact on your brand over time as well. It's good for the short term and the long term play for your brand. I think it's so powerful. And where most brands go wrong is that they have flows, but they treat them like a checklist. They set them up once themselves. Usually brand owners do this. I'll say, hey, have you got email flows? How much revenue is your email flows pulling? And they're like, yeah, I set up a couple flows, back in the day, back when I started my brand. And then they never revisit it, right? They're just like, yeah, I set them up. They do something. They're not treated like a core profit lever. They exist, but they don't work very hard. And the ads are forced to do all the heavy lifting, and ads are getting harder and harder. So, we need to take some pressure off the ads, and some pressure off ourselves to improve the ads. We need to look at alternative ways to get more out of the traffic we're sending. Ultimately, this is just an action that's to lower the cost of acquiring a customer. And also increase LTV. But fundamentally, we're trying to make acquiring customers cheaper. And this is such a powerful way of doing it. Now, one of the most common kind of failures that I see is a lot of welcome flows kind of just talk about the brand instead of like doing anything to kind of remove buying friction, overcome objections, be persuasive. The abandoned cart flows remind potential customers to buy. Please come back and buy. That's not a very compelling pitch, is it? They need a reason why, right? And also like post-purchase flows, they waste the highest intent moment customers ever give you. That first time you convince someone to buy, when they are the least warm, essentially, right? Before they've even received your product, they've agreed to give you their money, and they might just get an order confirmation. Like, that's it, when they could be receiving something that nurtures them into feeling like a valued customer, that instructs them on how to get the most out of their product, that reduces the risk of a refund or an exchange, right? So yeah, you need to start treating the email flows like revenue infrastructure, because they are, right? The job isn't for them to send emails, it's to capture value, right? From you're already paying for the ads, right? You're already paying for the traffic. Let's get more out of that traffic. They're there to increase LTV, so your CAC becomes more forgiving, right? They're going to help you, especially like those post-purchase flows, are going to help customers buy again in the future. So you can spend more to acquire a customer on the front end as well, and know that you're going to be profitable in the long term. That's, fundamentally, that's business 101, right? We want to acquire customers for the lowest cost possible and get as much out of them as possible in a positive way by giving them your awesome product. It helps educate the subscribers as well, and that's just going to help out your email campaigns convert better. And any like remarketing and stuff they see, right? This is all just points of contact that people are going to experience if they've abandoned their cart and they're seeing your remarketing ads on Meta, and then they're getting emails. That just adds, it's just another reason for them to come through and buy. And also, it helps you reduce discount reliance, right? If you are trying to drive traffic by offering a discount because you're struggling to drive traffic at a good cost, so you're like, hey, I'll give them something, a better deal, maybe I can get more customers, but then counterintuitively that makes you less money. That's a problem. Instead, we can improve the front end economics and not damage your brand's kind of the perceived value of your brand. No longer do you need to offer that discount, or you don't have to offer as high a discount or offer it as often. You can rely on the email flows to do that heavy lifting for you. And yeah, they have this compounding effect. They don't just generate revenue directly. They quietly improve the rest of the system. They warm your subscribers up. They shorten your payback periods. They reduce the risk when you're scaling. They improve your margins, right? These are all things that we want, but yet a lot of brand owners neglect them. So let's talk about like the nice little litmus test you can do here. If your flows disappeared tomorrow, would your brand feel it immediately? Or over the next 30 days. And if you're not like, oh yeah, like that would suck, then there's an opportunity there. If you're like, I don't know, if you're like question mark, then that's definitely an opportunity. So whether your conversion rate is already strong or you're looking for like a low risk way to improve your revenue and your profit, email flows are often the smartest place to start. And if you want my help with any of this, you can book a call with me. You can click the link in the description. I'm an ecom brand marketing agency owner, right? We work exclusively with ecom brands. We look at solving the problems that they actually have, right? Rather than the problems that, I want to solve for them. I will speak to people and identify exactly what it is that I think we can help them improve. And if that looks like something that makes sense to them, then we work together. And if not, they just leave the call with more clarity on what problem that they need to solve their own way. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.